farmers markets. I know it's something that a lot of us don't talk about. I think we take for granted going to farmers markets and everything like that. I just kind of wanted to show you, for you that are interested in what I bring to a farmers market, and kind of break down how I pack things, why I bring stuff. So I'm going to get out of the way here so I can show you guys what's going on. Some of the things here you're not going to need to bring. That's just something extra for me. Some of the things that, you know, we choose to have in our booth. So that's going to change stuff up. Most important thing you want to bring is some type of pop-up tent. I have it leaning here beside you, so that's the reason why it's out of the shot. A 10 by 10 tent or a 10 by 20 is what we can bring at our market. We have one space, so we use a 10 by 10 tent. I don't think there's a specific brand or company or anything like that that's important. I think just a very good quality tent for a good price. Do not buy your cheapest tent possible. It's a cheap tent. Try to buy a little higher end tent, probably middle of the road to your higher end tents. The other thing you want is some type of sandbag system. This one's got a little hole in it, I noticed, so I'm going to have to do a little cleaning up on this one. But these we got on Amazon. They are what they are. I think they were less than 20 bucks for 4 of them. I think they hold like 30 pounds of sand each. They've got Velcro. There's 4 pieces of Velcro here on this leg. You can, as you put your leg of your tent up, you can wrap this Velcro around it, and then this keeps your legs down. And you know, we are in a parking lot where we're at, so we don't have a lot of trees around us like some markets do, so we don't have a whole lot of protection. We're kind of out in the middle of a parking lot, so these do come in handy. So you want to make sure you have some type of weight system. I've seen people use everything from 1-gallon paint cans that are full of concrete with a bolt and a wing nut, and then put your feet through it and run the wing nut through it. I've seen people use that, which is pretty awesome. I thought these were pretty good. I had sand, less than 20 bucks. Easy to store. I can stack these up right here out of the way. They can just stay in the truck all week long. You want to bring some type of tables. It depends to you what size tables you use. These are 6-foot tables. These are one-piece tables. You can buy these in a fold-up where you can actually fold them together and break them in half. I used to use tables like that. I did not like them. The reason why is because they would bow in the middle where that bend is. These are just plastic, guys. You're out in hot sun. They're going to warp a little bit. That's just the tendency of plastic. So this year we went with 6-foot one-piece tables. Yes, I can't fold them in half, but these things will not bend. These are the best 40 bucks I spent. There's crates back there. We use the crates for our vegetables. We can stack our squash, zucchinis, carrots, stuff like that in them. You want to make sure you bring an array of crates. And you see I have a generator there. Our market does allow the use of a generator, saying that this is one of the new style iGen sine inverter generators. If you guys are not familiar with these are not your dad's generator. These are not the open-sided generators that are super, super loud that you used to hear at the racetrack or at the fairgrounds or on a concession stand or anything like that. These are the new iGen technology, which means they have a half speed on them and they are fully insulated. When you run these things full throttle, they are super, super, super quiet. And when you run these things at half idle speed, which that sine inverter on there actually lets you run that at half idle speed. I think it's like 55 or 53 or 55 decibels, which you talk louder than 55 decibels. So it's super, super quiet. So our market does allow these new style generators, but you're going to pay extra money for them. These generators are not cheap by no means. We use a generator to run a refrigerator that we take on site. That's where we put all of our baby greens in a refrigerator versus a cooler. Got a couple reasonings behind that. One is it looks cooler on your table when you have refrigerators open up where customers can actually open the fridge and grab their bags of lettuce. Plus, here in Kansas, we have to keep our lettuce at 37 to 38 degrees. The authorities do come around to each one of these big farmers markets, and they do check and write tickets for items that are not under compliance. With the refrigerator, I can guarantee that by going with the digital thermometer inside and a readout, and I can adjust that fridge to run at 37 degrees. So all that does is takes that out of my mind, knowing so when they walk up to my table, they can look, see the digital thermometer, they give me the A-OK, they walk on. There's no need to stop and double check anything. Like I said, you do not need to do that to run greens. You have to keep it in a cooler. You have to run multiple ice packs. We've done that through the summer before, it is very hard to keep cooler full of greens at 37 degrees with just ice packs. So we found out spending a little bit of money on a generator and a mini fridge or a wine fridge that we can cool down was actually good money invested for us. That's all that I keep outside right now. I'm going to take you inside. I'm going to show you some other stuff. All right, saying that, knowing that we are bringing a generator, you want to make sure you bring a good quality extension cord for your purpose. Now, yes, you can plug any extension cord into it, any quality, any price range into this generator to make things work. You want to make sure that you read the instructions that come along with your equipment and make sure you follow their guidelines. This is a 10 gauge 50-foot cord. Yes, is it expensive to buy a 10 gauge cord? Yes, it is. But this is what I need to allow the non-power drop for my fridge for that generator so I don't trip any breakers. And saying that, I also have a auto reset here that has a 3-way plug on one side, and then I have a reset button here that's got I think it's a 30 amp breaker on this. It's a 15 amp GFI, which is your ground fault interrupter breaker. So this is what you need for any type of outdoor weather. So it's very important to have the pieces that you need. And like I said, you may or may not need that. I use it because of my generator. And saying that, this is what we run with the generator here. It's a 3.7 cubic feet mini fridge, and it's got the digital readout in here. I'm not gonna, you can't really see inside of it right now. I keep it unplugged during the week. You could also plug this in and use it to store things. But we have 2 shelves in here. I took all the glass out of all the wine rack shelves out of it and just put the glass shelves in it. And I can literally hold 30 bags of lettuce in this refrigerator and keep it cool. Or I could put microgreens in the bottom and then 2 shelves of lettuce. This works out great. It's got a glass front, so when your customers walk up, you can see the digital readout, and that just assures the customer that you're keeping your produce at optimum temperature. Plus, you can put all type of sticky signage on here, like lettuce mixes, blah, 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 microgreens. You could do all kinds of cool signage on here so that way people can see this when they walk into their booth. Okay, the other thing you're going to want is you're still going to want to bring coolers with you. I have 3 coolers here. These 2 bigger ones here, we actually put the produce that is inside of our cooler. We actually store it in here. We'll put ice packs in it, and we'll bring this with us to the market. So that way, if there's any extra bags of lettuce that I cannot store inside of that refrigerator, we will store it inside of these coolers with ice bags in here, and then we'll wrap these up to keep their lettuce or your greens or anything like that kept cool, or your microgreens or anything like that. That way it stays cool, and as the customers buy stuff out of the fridge, I'll replenish that with the stock out of these coolers. The other thing you're going to want to bring is some type of bags. We try to stay away as much from single-use plastic as possible, but in this day and age, you're not going to be able to. But we do buy these bags on Amazon. Actually, it's the same type of bag you get at the grocery store that you see hanging up on the racks. We use this to dump our produce in. We also order these, which are, some of these have been out in the sun a little bit. It's these pint containers. We buy these on Amazon. So what we do is we put our produce in this. And then to make sure that we don't get these thrown away, we actually will dump them into these plastic bags and then put these, people can take these bags with them. That way we can reuse these and keep these out of the garbage. The other thing you want to do is bring some type of box with you. We use one of these Husky totes, as you can see. It's got the snap-on lid, works great. Just some of this little stuff that we take. We take chalk markers with us. We have various towels, different color tablecloths. We have red, we have tan, we have black and white, depending on the fall, the seasons. We change that up. We bring any type of signage with us. One of the other things you may want to, this isn't mandatory, but this is what I do. This kind of saves you in a roundabout area. In the state of Kansas, Kansas State University actually, I want to say they're not in charge, but they actually write the rule books for markets here on what you can and cannot sell with a license, how many you can sell before you have to get a license. It's a good practice to bring something like this with you to the market, because if there is any question from KDA or your entity that comes in, I always ask them and say, hey, show me in the book. Show me in the book so I know what it is, that I can see the writing. Because sometimes, you know, it's just like anything else. It's kind of you read this writing and it's kind of like, well, it's kind of a gray area. So if there is any question from another vendor, from a customer or anything saying, hey, you're supposed to have that at this certain temperature, or you're supposed to have this type of label on here, I can say, well, I'm following the rules. I'm not really sure. This right here will save you. It's just a good rule of thumb to keep around. Anything, any type of notes that you may or may not take. I take all the Zoom classes and things like that that the state puts on for free. And then I write those notes down that pertains to me. This is from like packaging, sales tax, meat and poultry, labeling of that meat and poultry, double up bucks for the state. We actually have an EBT program here in the state of Kansas where they will actually, if you don't know, EBT is like your food stamp program. Here in the state of Kansas, we're allowed to take that food stamps at our farmers market for fresh vegetables and baked goods. So what they do is they can go up to our market vendor or our market manager. They can take their EBT card, they can swipe it, and then they will physically give them little tokens, like $1 and $5 tokens that they can spend at the market. And they'll have double up bucks. Sometimes for every dollar, they get $2 of purchasing power. So that just helps you out in your favor. You take those bucks as payment, and then at the end of the day or end of the week or the end of the month or however you want to do it, you turn all those in, and then your market manager will write you a check or pay you cash for all the tokens that you have. It's a very great idea. But these totes, you want to keep all kinds of things in it. We keep our retailer sales tax registration certificate in the state of Kansas. You're supposed to keep this with you at all times, and if they ask to see it, you have to provide that, or you will get ticketed if you do not have that. And you just keep all kinds of other stuff. It's hard to explain. We keep these little spring clamps in here to tie up a tablecloth or anything like that. It all kind of depends on you. You want to keep a calculator, maybe some string, some tape, stuff like that. We keep a cash drawer. We keep it locked up inside, but the cash drawer will go in here, and then we'll make sure we have change and everything with it. The last thing you want to worry about is some type of signage. Now, in the state of Kansas, we have to have a sign that tells you like the price of everything. I know some states you have to put it with the product, or you have to put what state it comes from or what city it comes from. With us, it's basically, we just have to have a sign that shows you the prices. This is what we have here. This basically is just it's just one of those chalkboard signs that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I come through with my marker. What I've done that's kind of different a little bit is I will put our payment up here. We take PayPal with Visa, Apple Pay, all that. So I want to make sure that's prominent so people can see that when they walk up. They know they can use their debit card or Apple Pay or Google Pay or anything like that. I put my YouTube channel, my Instagram, and our Facebook page on here. So that way when people walk up, they can actually see that. And I will direct them to that so that way they can reach out to us to message us for any type of products. Our customers like to use us as a grocery store. So what they do is they like to use our Facebook page, and I will post on there if we're coming to market what we are bringing, how much we're bringing. That way our customers know, hey, before I go to the grocery store, we need to come see Tracy. We need to make sure we get our green beans and our tomatoes and our lettuce and stuff bought before we go to the grocery store to purchase that. And basically all it's got is what we're providing, and the costs are going to be different, so don't necessarily look at that. Everything's going to be different in every places. But I like to put this up, and what I've done is I've got a chain system with a hook on the back side here. What that entitles me to do is once I get my tent up, and tomorrow when we set up, we'll walk around, and I'll show you how we walk around. I will have that tied up to our tent and have a chain through it, so if the wind blows, it's blowing that, but it will not blow off. You can keep all kinds of stuff. We keep some table signage about our microgreens here. We do sell microgreens. And so we also keep a sign here. What I like to do is just like a little collage of different recipes. I'll have a recipe here they can snap a picture of. Exactly what are microgreens, kind of like a brief definition. We always still get asked. Microgreens have been around for years, but we still get asked, hey, what are microgreens? What do you do with them? So instead of me talking to every customer, which I do, but instead of just explaining myself, I've got a board there and I can direct them down to that and say, hey, we've got a recipe here for some zucchini pasta with microgreen salad. They can snap. We've had a lot of customers will snap a picture of that, and then they'll buy microgreens from us and a zucchini, and then they'll go home and try that recipe. The only other thing that we do bring with us is this just goes because we have it. We bring a fan because I do have a generator. I can run a fan. So we do bring a fan with us to make sure that we keep us cool, keep our customers cool. This time of year in the fall, it's not so needed, but in the middle of June and July, when it's 105 degrees outside, once again, you're in the middle of a parking lot, it gets hot. It's really nice to have some air blowing on you, whether it's hot or not. We also have a flat screen TV that we bring with us. And no, we're not watching TV while we're at the market. I actually have a USB stick that I download stuff onto it, and then I play it through the TV. And so we have a bracket that I built for our TV here. It's got a nice bracket that I built, and this actually hangs onto the side of our tent, and we use it to promote our YouTube channel. We use it to promote our Facebook page or anything like that. So when people walk in, human beings are very graphic when it comes to touch and see and smell and hear. So I like to put an aesthetic into our tent. So when you're walking by, it's just not your usual white tent with a white table, no tablecloth, and just vegetables thrown on the table. People tend to walk past those tables and they judge your tables by first sight. That's just human nature. And so you'll look at a table and you'll say, well, I'm not going to buy from that guy. But if you walk into our tent, which I'll show you tomorrow, we'll have nicely covered tablecloths. We'll have refrigerators with signage on it. We'll have a TV that's playing a YouTube channel about gardening in the background. If our customers have any issues, they can watch that and actually see me planting the lettuce that they're purchasing. I just think it's something cool. It's not being arrogant or cocky. I'm very proud of our channel. I'm very proud of our farm, and I'm very proud of what I do for our community. So I like to just kind of showcase us. But so I'm going to get all this stuff loaded in the truck. The next time you see us, you will see us at the market. All right, guys, we are set up here at the market. We got everything put together. I would have showed us setting the tents up, setting the tables up, and anything like that. But this time of year, when you get here at 5 o'clock in the morning, it is pitch dark out here. No matter how much flashlight or lights or anything else you put up there, you're not going to be able to see or not be able to at least film. Plus, we want to get the market set up. So I'm just kind of going to give you a little show around of our booth. See if we have our tent set up, and see if we have our small refrigerator here that you saw in the background when we were at home. We actually have that's set up. We've got microgreens in the bottom. We have our summer pick Asian blend mix, and we also have our big leaf spinach in there. And you can also see what I was talking about. It's 37 degrees in there right now. So if any type of legality walks by, I know it's not an exact thermometer, but it kind of gives you an ease of mind that you are trying to keep this as cool as possible. So this works out really good. We've got our sign hanging up in the corner. We're kind of at that transition where you're out of summer and you're going into fall. So you're not going to have the tomatoes. You're not going to have all of your summer crops like your corn, your melons, your stuff like that, because we're getting into fall. So we've got a little kiss of summer left. So we've got some cucumbers here. We've got our Nokia Japanese style thin skin cucumbers. They are wrapped in plastic. We've got that. We've got a little bit of squash and zucchini left. And then on this side here, we also have a lot of green beans. We deal in a lot of green beans. We sell a lot of green beans. We sell probably about 50 pounds of green beans a week here at the market. So we always make sure we have plenty of green beans on hand. We have what's left of our heirloom cherry tomatoes. We've got a couple weeks left of that. And then some habaneros, some jalapenos, stuff to go like that. We've got our TV over here. As you can see, we've got some of our videos that are playing in the background, just kind of as a, I don't know how you want to say it, as people walk by, you want to kind of distinguish your tent from the next guy that's selling vegetables. So this is something that people can actually see our high tunnels of progress. So if there's any questions or anything about how we grow, what we grow, they can actually watch that while they're shopping. I don't know if you need that or not. I think it's kind of cool. Plus, nowadays, you can also use that USB stick. You can also make this a menu board up here that's got your menu on it. So instead of having your board in the background, you can actually put your menu on the TV here so that people can actually see it. There's a lot of restaurants that do that. But guys, that's pretty much it. So I'll catch up with you guys here in a bit later on this afternoon, and we'll see how the table looks. All right, guys, just real quick here. Just wanted to jump back on here. We are at the end of market. So as you can see, table's pretty slimmed down. We've got a little bit of solid mix left over, but that's usually what happens. But guys, I just wanted to kind of just touch with you today, kind of take you through our process of what we pack, how we pack it, why we pack it, why we bring it, and how we set it up. So anyway, guys, I will see you next week. Bye.